Let me tell you why the Florida Gators are going to win a national championship tonight.
No. Let me tell you why Ohio State is going to win.
We got the senior leadership. We got the freshman phenoms.
No team has even come close to beating us.
Mike Conley.
We have Greg Oden.
Florida is going to get Oden.
We just obviously have the better players.
Noah, Horford, they'll dominate.
That's just how we roll.
We're going to crush them again like we did in football.
Listen up, Gators.
They lost 41-14.
You got your football win. You get nothing else.
We got creamed. It's obvious.
It's just going to happen again. You guys want football, it's definitely our turn.
This is how an alligator eats you. It opens its jaws and it grabs you.
The Gator Chomp. It's pretty obnoxious, actually.
You can take those Buckeyes no matter what. If you hold their mouths closed, they won't be able to do it.
Anyway.
It's all chomp, no bite.
How does a nut hurt you? At all. Ever. In any situation.
Game over, Gators. You're going down.
While the Gators have this, we have...
Oh, wait!
I'm not terribly impressed by college students spelling a four-letter state.
Yes, we can spell Ohio. We are meant to be here.
We deserve it.
It's time to take the trophy back to Ohio State.
There's some people that think we might be too cocky.
We're not cocky. We're honestly just that good.
We're here to do what we have to do.
You can't be anything but excited for Ohio State.
I think it's fate at this point.
I am so proud of my team.
That was so loud.
The road to the Final Four ends here tonight. And to paraphrase an old song, the entire basketball universe has the Georgia Dome on its mind. Welcome to Atlanta on championship night. Two teams remain. Both are #1 seeds. The Florida Gators won it all a year ago, knocking off UCLA. Tonight, they could become just the 8th team in NCAA history to repeat as champions. Standing in Florida's way is Ohio State. These teams had their first meeting back in December, and the Gators romped. However, Ohio State star center Greg Oden was just back from wrist surgery. He's healthy now and looking for revenge tonight. A sellout crowd of more than 53,000 is ready to raise the roof here in the Georgia Dome. Can Florida repeat, or will Ohio State win its first national basketball title since 1960? Good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to Championship Night as CBS Sports proudly presents its 26th consecutive NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Our tip time tonight is set for 9:21 Eastern, and at the conclusion of the title game, this coveted trophy will be presented to either Ohio State or Florida. Joining me, as always, my partners Clark Kellogg and Sports Illustrated's Seth Davis. This time of the year, this big a game, it's all about key matchups. Let's talk about it.
Well, when you talk about matchups, you start with the man in the middle, the biggest guy on the floor. It'll be Ohio State's Greg Oden. He has to be able to stay on the floor more than the 25 minutes per game he's averaged in the tournament, and he needs to do that by staying out of foul trouble. When he has been on the floor, he has been dominant. He's got excellent quickness, a good drop-step move, and he's also a menace on the boards and defensively. He's got to be a presence at both ends and play 30-plus minutes tonight.
And unfortunately for Mr. Oden, he's going up against that guy, Joakim Noah, a tremendous defender around the basket and does a great job attacking the basket, as does all three of Florida's front court players. Look at how quick Noah is to the boards. Maybe she'll bottom to the floor a little bit there. I don't know if Oden goes down so easily. Al Horford, a terrific scorer. And how about Chris Richard on Saturday night off the bench for 60 points, 7 for 7. I frankly am concerned that Oden can stay out of foul trouble tonight when you have three guys who are that big, that strong, that quick, and who are always in attack mode. Fouls are going to be a big problem for Greg Oden. And for Ohio State, one way to counter that is make it an up-tempo game. Mike Conley Jr., the sensational freshman point guard, got to get steals and really needs to do a good job penetrating into the lane. That's a concern for Florida.
Corey Brewer is a stat sheet stuffer supreme. He does everything. He does it all well. He's an excellent defender, and he's also a big-time playmaker.
All right, guys, coming up, we will hear from Buckeyes coach Thad Matta, and we'll listen in on Billy Donovan's pregame speech in the Gators locker room when Prelude to a Championship continues here on CBS.
We are the Buckeyes. Ohio State.
We are them Gator boys.
Florida.
Now
it's down to two.
We welcome you back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. All tournament long, fans have been voting for the Pontiac game-changing performance. And tonight, we're going to find out which school has won the $100,000 general scholarship contribution from Pontiac. Let's check in on fans from the 3 finalists who have gathered to watch tonight's game and see if their school will win this year's award. There's the Virginia Commonwealth Rams, the Buckeyes from Ohio State, and the Georgetown Hoyas. And the winner of the Pontiac game-changing performance of the tournament is The Ohio State University. And here's the play that won it for the Buckeyes.
Gotta hurry. Connolly, 5 to go. Lewis has been awesome, lets it go. He ties it at 62.
Congratulations, Ohio State. That game-changing performance just earned your school a $100,000 General Scholarship Fund contribution from Pontiac. Absolutely, congratulations to the Buckeyes. Ohio State won that. We'll see if they can win the national championship against Florida tonight. One more victory will give the Buckeyes their first national title in nearly half a century. Just a short while ago, our Sam Ryan spoke with Coach Thad Matta.
Coach Greg Oden spent much of Saturday's game in foul trouble, as he did the December 23rd game against Florida. What do you tell him tonight to keep him loose and prepared for this one?
Just play. You know, honestly, I think that, you know, Greg is a guy that has a great basketball intellect. Sometimes he's a little bit too aggressive, but I got all the faith in the world. He's only fouled out of 1 game this year, I think, out of 30. So you'll make no mistake about it, we do need him on the floor.
A young team, first trip to the national title game for your players. What's their demeanor like today?
Quite honestly, about the same as they've been, you know, the last couple months. And you know, I like that about them. You know, they know they've got a tremendous opponent ahead of them, and we have to go out and play.
Sam, thank you. Tonight marks the 3rd national championship game for Florida in 11 seasons under Coach Billy Donovan. Moments ago, he allowed us to listen in as he addressed the Gators in their locker room.
You guys have worked your tail off to get to this point. In my opinion, it's happened for one reason. Because of your love, your care, and your unselfishness for one another. That's why we're here. Tonight, you are playing for the guy next to you. That's who you're playing for. It's bigger than yourself because of the guy next to you. We talked about the horse race. We're running the race right now. We got to run our race for 40 minutes. And whatever stage of the race is, whatever stage we're at in the race, focus on that moment in time in the race. Run your race. It's all about competition. All the other stuff's out the window. When the ball gets thrown up, we run our race for 40 minutes of competition. All right? Here you go, DJ.
Our thanks to Billy Donovan for allowing us an eye and an ear into his locker room. Crunch time, gentlemen. Who wins this game tonight and why?
Well, you take a look at the Buckeyes. For Greg Oden to stay on the floor, for the front line to play a competitive game and to make threes is how the Buckeyes can win. They can get all that done, but I still think at the end of it all, Florida is going to be able to prevail because they're so strong at every single position.
Somebody surprising for Ohio State is going to need to score, whether it's Jamar Butler, Ivan Harris, Daquan Cook, David Lighty, the freshman. Someone's going to have a surprising game, but I do agree with Clark, and I'm ready to play it from that Billy Donovan pregame speech. If there's one thing that has not been talked enough about Florida, it is their defense. That will be the difference both around the basket and behind the three-point line. Too much Gators. They will repeat as national champions.
All right, gentlemen, prelude to a championship will continue here on CBS in just a moment. We welcome you back to the Georgia Dome. Our colleagues, Jim Nance and Billy Packer, are set to call the action for their 17th consecutive national championship game together. Congratulations, gentlemen. Take it away, Jim.
Thank you very much, Greg, but even better than that, 33 years for the voice of the Final Four, half his lifetime, my friend Billy Packer. This has the makings of a special one tonight here, Billy.
It really feels that way, Jim, because we've got the 2 best teams in the country. Many times that doesn't happen. It should be very special.
Let's go through the teams and tell everyone what to look for here in the championship game. As you see, the Florida Gators leaving the locker room, about to take the floor. But the Buckeyes are out here first. The Big Ten champions. again, the Florida Gators returning the same starting five as a year ago. They can make all kinds of history tonight, not only back-to-back. It can be the first time ever the same starting five won back-to-back titles. It's never happened in the history of the game. We've got the lineups and the tip coming up on CBS.
It's another championship game pitting Ohio State and Florida. They met in the BCS title game on January the 8th, and of course the Florida Gators won at 41-14. Billy, let's go through the Buckeyes, what to look for tonight.
Well, the first thing is Mike Conley. He's a guard that every coach dreams about. He led the Big Ten in assists and steals. He knows how to run a game. Unbelievable for a freshman that can orchestrate a game the way he does. And then you have Ron Lewis. He's 28 for 29 in the NCAA tournament from the foul line. Just 1 for 8 from the outside against Georgetown. Can't have that happen tonight. And of course, Greg Oden, the All-Big Ten most outstanding player in the Big Ten tournament. The presence inside, blocking shots, power moves inside. He must, as Clark Kellogg said, stay on the floor tonight.
All right, Billy, what about the Gators? What do you see here?
Well, we see an awful lot of talent, an awful lot of experience led by this man, Joakim Noah, who last year was the MOP of this Final Four. Set a record in the NCAA tournament, 6 blocks in the championship game. His buddy Al Horford on the inside, despite a sore ankle, had a double-double against Ohio State, 15 on the year. And then a key to this ball game, in my estimation, could be Chris Richard. He has been unbelievable in the NCAA tournament. 19 out of 21. He's the 6th man of the year in the SEC, and he has been unbelievable and could be a major presence inside with Oden tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2007 National Championship game. And now let's meet the teams looking to win their first title since 1960. Here are the Buckeyes.
Lewis lets it go. Butler with a 3. Gators from outside. Pounded inside.
Alley-oop. Send it in. Gets to the 10.
Knock. Go in the paint.
Rejected it. Says no way.
Down to 2. Just 2.
Buckeyes buy a ticket to Monday night's final.
We are the Buckeyes.
And let's meet the starting lineups from the Ohio State University. At forward, a 6'7" senior, number 3, Ivan Harris. At guard, a 6'4" senior, number 12, Ron Lewis. At center, a 7-foot freshman, number 20, Greg Oden. At guard, a 6'2" junior, number 14, Jamar Butler. And at guard, a 6'1" freshman, number 1, Mike Conley, Jr. Now looking to become the first team to repeat since 1992. Here are the Gators.
The Gators, as good as it gets.
Florida. Fast and athletic.
Slam, bam, jam.
Very
Experience. Humpy, deeper 3. Bucket. Beautiful.
Again is Brilla. Coming up big with another little burst. It's Horford. The Gators kicking in that extra gear.
and ready to repeat. We are the Gators. Them Gator boys.
And now let's meet the starters from the University of Florida. At forward, a 6'9" junior, number 2, Corey Brewer. At forward, a 6'11" junior, number 13, Joakim Noah. At center, a 6'10" junior, number 42, Al Horford. At guard, a 6'2" senior, number 12, Lee Humphrey. And at guard, a 6-foot junior, number 11, Torian Green. The head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes is Thad Matta. And the head coach of the Florida Gators is Billy Donovan. Well, it's electric here, Billy Packer. And let's check out their roads to the championship game. Both 1 seeds. Ohio State, the #1 team in the final AP poll coming into the tournament through Central Connecticut State. The comeback against Xavier with the shot by Lewis, but then the monumental comeback, 20 down to Tennessee. Memphis in the regional final, and then outplaying Georgetown down the stretch Saturday in the national semifinal. For the Florida Gators, they were in the minds of the men's basketball committee the #1 seed overall for this tournament through Jackson State and Purdue. Butler, and then Oregon in a regional final, and for the 2nd straight year, they end the dream for the Bruins of UCLA with their 10-point conquest on Saturday evening. And with Florida as the #1 overall seed of the tournament, they will be officially here the home team and the home whites. And Billy, a final thought here before tip.
2 things that are going to be real interesting to me on the first possessions, and that is, who is Brewer going to guard? He can guard any of 5 players on the floor, Oden being the least. But I'd be interested to see if he goes up against Conley. And will Ohio State start in the zone to try to protect Oden?
Tonight's game is brought to you in HDTV by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television and mobile media. The officials are Tony Green, Edward Corbett, and the man tossing it, Carl Hess. Ohio State and Florida for the national championship. And Hess worked the first game, Billy, back December 23rd in Gainesville. The one won by the Gators convincingly, 86-60. That's Horford taking the jumper outside, and Lewis with the rebound as the Buckeyes boxed.
The first thing we saw there, they were playing man-to-man Ohio State, and Oden did not come out to try to help out and stay away from foul trouble where he's been in trouble going outside on the perimeter defensively.
Quick shot by Lewis. He struggled with his shot in this Cavernous Arena on Saturday. It's Noah working on Harris. They're not going to count the basket, but they're going to whistle the call against the senior from Springfield, Ohio, Harris.
Jim, this is why I thought Ohio State would start in a zone, because Harris has given up an awful lot of size to Noah. It's a tough, tough matchup. Noah's down inside, easy on Lewis now.
Could have been maybe an easy get there, but a steal instead. It's Conley with Humphrey trying to defend, and the first points of the championship game to the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Brewer right back, wing, and he bangs home a 3.
Just as he did the other night, a tremendous start for Brewer. Brewer is going to be on Lewis. So Green and Conley.
And another whistle down low. And this call is against Horford.
How about this? Richard off the bench immediately.
Yeah, they rotate those 3 with Richard coming off the monster performance. 7 of 7 from the field against UCLA, 16 points.
But, Jim, that's something I didn't want to see early in the game. The referees calling ticky-tack fouls in tight. Got to let the big guys play at talent level here.
Didn't want to see that Saturday either, but they certainly monitored that one a little too close for my comfort. Here's Harris, and he hits the 3.
And Jim, how about Conley? Takes it inside, never is in a hurry. As Coach Wooden always said, be quick, but don't hurry. Well, he personifies that perfectly.
The high give to Noah. Work it outside. Brewer going to launch it again. And 2 Buckeyes battling for it. Oden saves it.
Good hustle by the big man.
Well, this issue you talk about, Billy, will they let the big guys play? That really the biggest concern on the floor. That would have to be for Ohio State. And can Oden stay in the game this time?
Well, you can see what Richard's doing. I think Billy Donovan said if they're going to call it tight, I'm going to bring Richard in there quickly, and maybe I can use 3 or 4 fouls on Richard before I bring Horford back in the ball game.
Oden with only 20 foul-plagued moments or minutes in the game against Georgetown. He misses his first attempt here tonight. Green really beat him up pretty good in the game at Gainesville. Had 24 to top the Gators.
He did, but he did not have a good game against UCLA. Carlson gave him all kinds of trouble.
Great job defensively that time as Noah tried to go up with it, and Harris took it away. Lewis hoping to find his shot, but not this time. Stolen by Noah.
Got numbers.
Humphrey have to give it up here as he drives in for the layup.
You know, Humphrey is not a guy that's a big finisher. I think Harris should have tried to go and block that shot. It'd be one thing if you got Brewer on the wing or you've got Noah on the wing, but you're not going to have a finish by Humphrey. That was blockable. Richard really using that body on the inside on Oden.
Harris again. This time for the senior. Green comes down low for the rebound. A lot of speed in that little matchup. Point guards. Brewer turns, twist, miss. And again, Harris very active on that end of the floor.
He was. Noah should have been ready to go ahead and rebound that from the weak side, and there goes the man again.
Conley goes the distance.
Noah's exhausted right now. He's trying to get a second breath. He's looking for Billy Donovan to get him out of there. He's really winded right now. But Donovan already has taken Horford out. Doesn't want to take Noah out at this point.
Going to bring in Walter Hodge. Horford's going to come back in as well. Called that foul on Conley. And trying to repeat. Oklahoma State the first to do so. Duke the last. And of course, that 1960 stretch that spilled into the 70s for UCLA, that's beyond description.
Yeah, there's some real people there. Bob Curlin, the great first big man in college basketball, leading Oklahoma State, and Coach Iva. He was the guy that got it all started with repeats.
Not with the long shot. Curlin is here tonight in attendance. Was here for the Hall of Fame announcement earlier today as Roy Williams of North Carolina was one of those announced. Going in, there's Oden with a little finger roll, and the big center is on the board.
And there, people said, well, you know, I wonder how he liked using the left hand while he couldn't use the right. He showed you how right there. It's been amazing how he has changed now that he's got two hands, but his stats are about the same as the game goes on. We'll get into that a little bit. You notice how he's not coming out on a hedge move.
Green gets by. There's no one there for the last stand.
Now, that is something that Billy Donovan has picked up right away. Oden normally comes out there to help when there's a solid screen on the guard. He's not doing it now, so it allows Green to go right over that solid screen inside. But they don't want Oden getting in trouble on the perimeter.
Harris jammed over to Butler. Down low. Lewis. Humphrey trying to defend, and he got him from behind. We reach our first break. The national championship game is underway. Conley has 4. Brewer hits another one from the outside. This is in October at Midnight Madness. Holding up one of the national championship trophies, Billy Donovan with the glass sphere. And look out, the Siemens trophy. It was only a replica. What a great spoof that was.
Al Horford thought it was the real thing. He was almost panicked for a second.
He was boxing out. Did you notice that? And Conley's sitting down, Billy, coming out of this break. They bring in Daquan Cook, a freshman, top 6 man in the Big Ten this year. Good hands by Oden. Brewer now reaches in.
Is he quick? Oden not used to seeing a guy 6'9" that quick out on him. As I said, Brewer can guard any 5 players on the floor.
Great shot by Hodge. Now they take Conley out with Hodge on the floor. And
you know, Jim, guys are sitting in, and Florida goes to a 2-3 zone even before. And Thad Matta said, no, I don't want to see this zone. He was going to call a timeout. His players didn't recognize him.
Oden was down here signaling for it for a couple of seconds. Had the timeout signal high in the air. They've also brought in, talking about the Buckeyes, Othello Hunter, 45, and this man passing it is David Lighty, coming off a big 25-minute performance against Georgetown. Block shot.
That was Brewer blocking an Oden shot from distance. Jim, he's listed at 6'9", and he's every bit that. But with his arm span, he's almost a 7-footer on the floor.
That's Horford. And on Hunter, trying to out-muscle him, and Oden able to just grab a flat-footed rebound.
Hunter, another guy with a long wingspan.
Whitey goes corner, but he is fouled on the pass. And Noah's about to check back into the Gator lineup.
Well, we've got 3 freshmen on the floor. We've had a situation with 5 freshmen in a championship game with that Fab 5 of Michigan, Jim. You remember 2 years in a row they made it as freshmen with 5 on the floor. The only champion that ever had 4 freshmen on the floor was that Utah squad back in 1944. So Ohio State playing plenty of freshmen out here.
Well, that Fab 5 team in Michigan was beat them, and that was the last time we had back-to-back championships. By a team as Cook scores on the inside. Cook did not have a good game on Saturday, Billy, but gets a confident start there. He missed a bunch of outside shots against the Hoyas.
Jim, but he is a young man that can score. He had 6 20-point games in the first 13 games Ohio State played this year.
Now Noah. He draws the foul on Hunter.
This is the best matchup, though, that Ohio State can have with Hunter and Oden down low.
Near the end of this game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and to honor their determination and outstanding play, Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. America's brand supporting America's best, Chevy, the American Revolution. 2 coming for Noah.
There is that sidewinder shot of the MOP from last year. Jim, look up at the scoreboard. 13:38 to go. Oden is on the floor and doesn't have a foul. Which, you remember that the other day? It was 1 minute and 38 seconds.
Had 2.
He was sitting on the floor with sitting on the bench with 2. Good sign for Ohio State.
He averaged only 7 minutes, Billy, of playing time in the first halves of the last 3 games. So
you see how Florida now trying to get a little bit of defensive pressure. Tough to get it on this man.
Now Brewer, he's taking one away from Oden. He was trying to strip Conley this time. He's doubled up.
And that's that width of Brewer, even for a guy like Conley, making it tough to get a passing angle.
Boy, Oden wants it. He got Noah on his back, and that's going to be one on Noah.
The game is being called very close on the inside. Now, what Billy Donovan is trying to get it to be called close on the other end of the floor. Oden doing a really good job tonight staying out of foul trouble. But one of the things I think is available on the other end, if Oden's not going to come out to help on those solid screens, they're going to be jump shots for Ohio State.
Oh, this is going to be one against Ohio State for pushing off, trying to gain position. It's a second on Hunter.
A lot of touch fouls down in low. Referees not letting them play at all. The coaches and the players are going to have to respect that.
Brings in Matt Terwilliger. You know, this is something today. Bill Walton, the great, who was here tonight as just a super fan, great supporter of college basketball. He said, you know, Billy, they went to 3 officials so many years ago, but they didn't up the number of fouls. We got Brewer hurt.
Brewer's down.
He's down on the baseline. Tremendous pain.
He really is in pain. You know what this reminds me of? A player of Brewer's status, Bobby Wilkerson, going down in 1976 for Indiana when Bob Knight had an undefeated team ready to go for a national championship.
Watch the right side of your screen here, Billy. As Brewer coming through.
Just kind of gets an inadvertent elbow by Oden. Nothing intentional whatsoever.
You know, he's walking it off now.
Of course, you get hit by a man that's 276 pounds right in the chest, it'll hurt.
I was going to say, though, they went to 3 officials in college basketball, you know, good 15 years ago, but they did not up the number of fouls. You know, the Big East for a while experimented with 6.
And that hurt their confidence.
Is it time, though, for that to be a consideration? You got another set of eyes, people out there trying to justify their job. They're calling things so tightly as Huntley takes his first attempt.
I've never understood why a guy has to be taken out of the game anyway. It doesn't happen in any other sport.
I mean, never a maximum number of fouls.
Just go ahead and play. And maybe give an extra penalty bonus for a foul shot for the fouls he commits thereafter.
Here's Oden. Over Horford. Traveled first.
Traveled, but a pretty good move, and give Horford some credit for not pushing or trying to block the shot.
Brewer back in, so it was just a momentary injury for Brewer. It shakes it off.
How about Thad Mata talking to him, hoping that he's okay. Great sportsmanship sign here by Thad.
And the Florida starting 5 back on the floor.
Again, if Horford sets a screen, now watch what happens. Oden does not come out, so Green can get jump shots. Again, see, he can get the jump shot.
Oh, he was fouled in the act of a 3.
This can be an offense all to its own for Florida. Set screens by Horford. Oden's not coming out. You get a jump shot very easily.
We got, more notably, though, the second foul on Conley. So the first one to get in a little foul trouble. No one serves college sports fans better than CSTV, the 24-hour college sports network from CBS Sports. To get CSTV, go to CSTV.com. So 2 on Conley, Billy, and that's rather large with 12:16 still to go in the first half.
Jim, the reason it's a foul on Conley, he's not getting help on the big guy in the hedge move to stop that. So he tries to fight his way over the screen, and doing that picks up the foul.